Do I look tired?
Do I look tired? Do you feel tired?
Yes. And my neck hurts.
Why does your neck hurt?
I don't know. Literally 2 hours ago, I was like, oh, it hurts to turn my neck.
Old age.
Welcome to your 30s.
Hey, mama, welcome to your 30s.
I genuinely, when I was like 20, I was like, that's a myth.
That's a lie.
You don't just wake up and your neck hurts.
Neck. Ankle.
Back.
Welcome back to Boys Love, Boys Love. We're recapping episode 4 of the hit Korean BL series, The Eighth Sense.
What's the 6th and 7th? The 6th is talking to dead people. So what's the 7th? Bangtan. Seventh Heaven?
Seventh Heaven, yes, the TV show.
When Seventh Heaven was on, I actually don't know what we were engaging with because I was 7.
I was watching Charmed, mama.
Oh.
Boys Love Charmed?
Gays love Charmed.
Gays love Charmed.
Gays love Charmed. Gays love Buffy. Straight girls love Supernatural.
In grade school, like I was a first grader, I vividly
the
remember.
The amount of times I've heard this story.
Because it's so crazy. I used to keep a notebook where I would write down all of the spells and It
was your own book of shadows.
My own book of shadows, but it was on like a pink Sailor Moon ass notebook. And then a teacher had seen it, sent it to the guidance counselor, and she was like, I'm just really concerned because this feels really dark and scary. And I said, it's a TV show. In the Philippines, it was on a channel called Studio 23 on Mondays at 9 p.m. And then the next week, she was like, I love the show. Who's your favorite sister? Prue era, I was Phoebe all the way.
Yes, pre-Balthazar, Phoebe. No, there's no one else.
Once Balthazar was involved, I was like, Phoebe, girl, you know better. So I'm done. I'm disengaging.
Right.
And then I became a true Piper stan. This woman does not give a fuck anymore. She's like, I didn't want to be a witch, and now I have to be. And I'm the most powerful witch in the goddamn world.
I gotta be honest, I stand with Rose McGowan. I was never a Paige.
You were not a Paige fan.
I was never a Paige. And it's not even like she came into the show late, so whatever. I thought her character was written so
it was so haphazardly.
Annoying. Yeah.
I liked season 4 Paige
when she first joined.
Because it was still like her trying to get into the story.
Yeah, and figure out who she is. And
once she felt like she had a sense of purpose, it was like she kind of just floundered. And I'm gonna say right here, Magic School ruined Charmed.
Magic School is the worst thing that has ever.
Magic School ruined.
Magic School was horrendous. Magic School is the equivalent of if you watched Once Upon a Time, it was Neverland. Neverland also ruined Once Upon a Time.
I hate to tell you, girls.
You know what isn't ruined? The Eighth Sense.
This perfect TV show called The Eighth Sense.
By episode 4, we still are on board.
So they are not together.
As a couple, you mean?
As a couple.
Sure. They are literally together
They are literally together constantly now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've breached that, like, we can hang out together. But there's still so much like intimacy. I kept being like, it still keeps up with the appearances of like someone could see, and you're like, those are just two buds,
pals,
two really good
historians were convinced that they were roommates. I think they look great together. I'm very charmed by their energy. I think they have wonderful chemistry.
Yeah.
I also think the cinematography is so good because it's capturing the tiniest moments. Yeah. The end of this episode, I felt like I was like on cloud 9. And they locked pinkies. My God. My God. When he put his backpack on him. Okay. This is after they were on the subway. Remember in the last episode, we were like, is it a dream? Is it real? It was real.
Just know that on the day we will finally get to visit Korea, the first thing we're doing is going to a convenience store and get an iced Americano.
Oh,
in the ice
we're doing the whole, like, the cup, the ice.
Putting a banana, whatever.
Open the pouch.
Yeah. The pouch. And then we were walking that down to the Han motherfucking river.
I'm going to find somewhere where I can do like a ramen machine. Yeah. That's the literal dream. For a person who hates engaging with like real people in a service situation, because I've been the service person in the service situation.
And we'll talk about service today.
Mama, we'll talk about customers and bad attitudes today.
Oh, baby. But yeah, I love that Ji-yoon is new to Seoul. It feels like we are like right alongside with him.
This is everyone's dream. This is everyone, as someone who comes I'm kind of a small town girly. You dream of moving to the big city and like falling in love with a man, and this all happened in the same week for this kid. So like he's living everyone's dream.
Literally, Emily in Paris, fuck off.
Fuck
it's
you.
Ji-hyun and Seoul. That's so quaint that you are a small town girl. I've always been a city girl myself.
You know what's crazy is that when I got to college, I used to say that I was from an urban city. Because I was from the 4th biggest city in Indiana. You can figure out. Now you can Google which one that is. Now you can
figure out which one it is.
And I literally was like, yeah, we had 4 high schools. They sit on the Han River and they're chatting.
They're like chatting. They're getting, to know one another.
It's still, they're so young.
It's still in the like Discovery. They're not asking specifics about each other. They're not being
Discovery Zone.
So we're back at the Discovery Zone, girl. Back in the ball pit.
So
it's like questions about like, why do you like to come here? What do you think about?
Have you been to the Han River?
Yeah, but it's not like, okay, so where's your family from? Tell me about yourself. How many siblings do you have?
Ji-hyun teaches Jaewon to draw.
Yes.
Which is
the teaching of the skill. Oh, man.
What the fuck?
Okay. They're by the Han River, and then Ji-hyun was like, well, do you want to eat ramen with me?
Now, if you are a K-drama girly, or one you learn pretty early on in your Korean knowledge, do you want to eat ramen together? Is like,
it's Netflix and
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? And that's what Lady Marmalade was really talking about.
Yeah. It was. Jaewon was like, whoa, how do you know that? Oh my god, are you serious? And he's like, oh, I just saw these girls eat ramen at the convenience store. And he was like,
Jaewon also was like, I'm not saying no, but...
And that's the thing, because this happens again later, where like
Jaewon gets Ji-hyun a taxi to go back home.
He gets him a taxi. First of all, chaebol. My chaebol...
senses are tingling?
Senses are tingling, yeah. Mm-hmm. My shtetl chaebol clairvoyance.
Don't say shtetl.
My chaebol...
No one is going to understand that reference, so you cannot conclude that.
My chaebol senses were tingling. First of all, and then when he helps him put his backpack on and then pulls him close to him.
Why does he pull him in? I mean, I understand. Let me explain. I understand why he pulls him in, but like also, why are you pulling him in? This is the fastest taxi that has ever been ordered.
I know. Taxi? Anyone here for a taxi?
I just ordered you a taxi. Taxi's here.
But the way he pulled him in and then looking at him, it was truly like he was ravaging his entire body. His eyes was trying to do what his body wanted to do, eating him up.
I am not saying any of that. That is RJ's thought.
And you can see it in his eyes.
He can turn it on and off.
He can turn it
so
on and off so quickly with just like a squint of the eye.
It's wild to watch him flipping on and off. Because it's not on until he pulls him in, and then it's...
You are in a locked room with both of them.
Like, this show keeps the camera so close on them that I was like, I am intruding. Yes. I need to step away for their sake.
I know.
It's amazing. He's really good. I think their characters are so completely different, and they're so wonderfully cast. Because Ji-hyun is like so wide-eyed and so just... I don't want to say naive, but like...
Yes, but not in like a...
He's not an idiot. He's not Junpyo, who is like the true...
A little dolt.
Yes. Like dunce cap energy. But like charming. Yeah. But he still is the like, I'm being swept up by all this. Yeah. Very he's the ingenue. I don't know. I mean,
he's the romantic lead. What do you want from us?
He's Cinderella. It's great. Then the next day, him and Junpyo are eating lunch, and Miss Girl, airy, like the underwear store. And Junpyo still thinks that Ji-hyun and her like went out last night, and so he's like, so how was it? How was your night out together? And she was like, it was great. Which is this is very funny. I like this character is very funny. This is how you know someone's like a true ride or die. He could have killed somebody last night, and she was like yeah. I'm your alibi, baby. What did we do? What did we do? So then they go and like have a scene where they sit down together, and he's like apologetic.
Yes.
Because he feels bad.
That he obviously like stood her up by saying that like she was hanging out with a friend who she originally thought was Junpyo, but then through that realizes that, oh, he was with someone else.
Right.
And so he apologizes, and she kind of like still plays around with him, like, "Oh, I'm so hurt." Just kidding. I don't give a fuck, girl. We're freshmen. Like, it's
She's
okay.
like, "You thought I was into you?" Peak hag energy. This is the most hag energy I've ever seen. And like,
I know, because I'm
I
like,
don't think we use that term anymore, but like,
for our generation,
us elder
millennials.
queers.
Yes, our elder queers. You did like him, but like, this is kind of a way to like save face.
But did she? Because she's like, so you hung out with Jaewon.
That's true.
So I don't know if she did. I mean, I think you can like someone and also understand that it's not.
Yeah. Maybe she was swept away with that like chivalrous when he took the penalty drink for them. You know, like that was like kind of the spark of it. Because after that moment, she was like, "Gee, let's hang out, blah blah blah, let's talk." And they did hang out together, and they kind of like saw how charming he is.
Yeah.
But I do think just for her, like when we were saying in the surfing event, someone passing by or the other friends,
you did a hiding in closet whistle.
Suffering. I can't do it. I'm thinking back, like, oh yeah, that did make sense. Now I'm thinking about it. They were close. I just didn't think about it.
She's really the audience surrogate here. Truly. I love an audience surrogate character.
Girl, I eat it up.
It's so good. That's why Ben Wyatt is one of my favorite characters on Parks and Rec, because he comes in with the audience who's like, these people are out of their minds. And he's like, these people are out of their minds. And you're like, you get it.
Yeah.
It's great. Now, if you remember a couple episodes ago, RJ was like nervous that he was going to have to meet a professor character. We do end up meeting a professor character in this episode.
But he also doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't want to be there just like as much as RJ doesn't want him there.
So
he comes in and he's like, I'm not feeling it. Have a great
something.
day. We learn that Taeyong is the TA, basically. And so he is instructed to divide the class, of which there's like 9 people. He picks hats out of a bowl or whatever. He picks names. He picks hats out of a bowl.
He picks hats out of a bowl. Caps for sale. Yes, but he takes Eunji and Jaewon's name out.
Oh, he specifically does it on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Because after that, Jaewon found him in the bathroom and was like, "You did that on purpose." And he was like, "No, I wouldn't do that. You saw me pick names out of a hat."
Don't do this. Even if you're like, "Oh, I want my friends to get back together," and they broke up. This is a step too far. It's one thing to be like, I'm going to try to set them up.
Oh, you guys are in the same restaurant.
Like, read the room.
And they're trying to keep, like, the J1 that they know.
Yes.
Yes, she's even trying to be like, I hate this just as much as you do, but we have to do it, so let's just do it. And he's like, I don't even want to be on the same table with you right now.
At what point, if you're Eunji, at what point are you like, I'm giving up? Like, I think for me, it would be literally when we were on the beach and he was like, I have literally no feelings for you anymore. I would be like...
I think that was pretty clear.
I think it's actually worse to have no feelings than be like, I dislike you. Because that means that you're still, like, emotionally attached in some capacity. Obviously, not the
He's
one you want.
He's not even thinking about you anymore.
No, girl.
There's nothing there anymore. Obviously, like, we get a scene later of him talking to his therapist about, like, what stuff he's trying to get over, and one thing is like he feels like he keeps putting a mask in front of his relationships to like be something for them. Your seemed very pointed. Let me do it again. And so now it's just desperate, girl.
Yeah, it's giving desperation.
Because what's the thing? Are you going to wait until he's like, I am dating Jihyun, or like I'm dating someone else?
But girl, this was Haeun in exchange. She was like, I'm just going to wear him down until he takes me back. And guess what?
And then
guess what? Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert for Love
2.
Exchange 2. And you know what?
It didn't work.
But she was like, I found me a man. And this young man.
Jesus.
Oh, girl. This young man is gonna.
Okay. And then they're sitting in the library. And Jaewon just happens to look to his side. And down like the stacks on the other side of the library is Jihyun sitting at this desk. And like sees him and like does the cutest wave I think has ever been recorded.
Fully just like.
So, this is so Country Mouse. Big Country Mouse energy.
BCME.
And then Jaewon like smiles because he's, I mean, like effortlessly charmed by this.
It's focused on Jaewon.
Yeah.
And you see Jihyun at the end of the stacks on the background blurry, but you see that figure get up and then leave.
He's putting the mask back on for Eunji. He put the he smiled at Jihyun. She said, "What's going on?" He put the mask back on and was like, "Nothing. I'm over it. This is stupid." So even though he doesn't care, he still cares enough to
put it
about
on.
Eunji to like. He's like, I now have to signal that I dislike you.
Yeah.
So he has to put it back on, so he can't even like be true to his actual feelings in the moment. I'm realizing this in this moment right now, by the way. That came out of nowhere. If I had to put this much energy in a single paper I did in college, it's shot in a way that reminded me of them going on the subway from the end of the last episode.
Yeah, he was so clear and he was so in the light that it almost felt like, is he imagining that?
I thought he was imagining Jihyun at the end of the walkway.
It's so crazy that like an effect of how this show is being shot so realistically makes it seem like just the slightest bit of like, that couldn't really happen in real life, makes you immediately think I'm in a dream, I'm something else. It's so crazy because of it. You're like, oh wow. But I mean, I'm sure that was thought of as like, it's visually telling that like it's such a respite for him.
But I think I'm interpreting it as like a dream sequence, but I think it's supposed to be like it is the feeling that you have when you're like in that like young. When you're in the discovery zone, when you're in the ball pit. Yeah. And everything is like, there seems to be light everywhere. And like, everything is so much prettier than you remember it being. Yeah. I remember one time I dated a guy in college.
Not me.
Not RJ. This was pre-RJ.
But I was around. We were roommates. So I was
listening to the stories. I had gone to his house and we did not hook up, but like, we like met and hung out. Mm-hmm. And then I had ridden my bike there, and on the way back to my apartment, it started pouring rain. And I remember in the moment, and this is going to sound awful, so just like skip ahead. I remember in the rain being like, oh my God, rain has never felt so good. Now,
feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you.
And that was real. And that is the energy where it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're in another room.
They're in like a class, like an empty classroom or whatever, just like
just another corner.
Yeah. Jihyun still has the picture.
Jaewon's drawing.
And this is where the Country Mouse, City Mouse conversation happens. And Jihyun kind of takes like offense. And he thinks like Jaewon's kind of like making fun of him. And I think that there is an element of that, but I also like an energy of like making fun of someone is like my love language. So that wouldn't bother me. But I understand like why he's like, especially if you feel out of place and someone is pointing out that you're out of place.
Are out of place. Yeah, totally.
You start to feel like, well, why can't I just like be like, I'm just like everybody else. It doesn't even matter. So I understand feeling defensive, but it makes it look like he's more of a country.
He's more of a country. Yeah, exactly.
It's so cute.
Well, it's that idea of like when you're in that place of you just want to fit in, you try to really downplay any sort of thing that makes you an individual. And like, what's sad is that when you get to our age, you're like, I wish I didn't, quote unquote, like waste that time, because now I'm like realizing like if I was more of myself back then, like I could have like not have to go through as many hurdles, I feel like. And then Eunji walks by and sees them playfully tossing each other, because they were like, he was like, give me that drawing back, it's ugly. And he's like, no, I want to keep it. And Eunji's like, no, what in the gay ass is happening over here? In her little like cardigan, very cute.
This outfit is so cute.
So
this is her best outfit so far in the show. Jihyun goes to work. Now this is television. This scene is the red wedding. I mean, this is like giving absolute drama. I'm skipping to the end of the scene. If you ever have a boss like this who stands up for you like this, do not quit that job unless they're underpaying you. But do not quit that job, because I have worked many service jobs and there are so few managers in the world that are willing
to stand up for their employees.
To stand up for their employees. Especially to this extent. This is wild.
Especially in customer service of like, I am gonna just cater to the guest because they can leave a bad review.
Guess what, babe? They're gonna leave a bad review anyway. Might as well tell them who they are while they walk out the door.
Yeah.
Eunji goes to Jihyun's restaurant. This is so purposeful. This is deeply petty.
Just think about everything, that situation. How could she be petty? She did all of it.
This is like, I mean, if you are right, we don't know exactly what happened at the end of their situationship.
Knowing from what we've gathered.
Doesn't seem like she's that great of a person. So maybe it was for the best that they ended. Anyway, I'm not passing judgment on Eunji. I have also been this delusional at points in my life.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, she's just doing everything. Ordering. Can you give me some fresh banchan? I need more soju. I don't like the spoon that you picked out for me. Give me another one.
The efficiency of the button. I gotta be honest. This is like...
I mean, this is just mostly an American thing, yeah.
I am not a person who needs a server to come check on me every 15 to 20 minutes to make sure the food tastes good. I'll let you know if the food doesn't taste good. I also don't have that crazy of a palate or like standards, I should say. So if it like is edible and tastes decent, then I'll be like, great, this was fine. If it wasn't great, then I'll probably just never come back. But I'll take the L. I ordered the food, blah, blah, blah. In Paris, they just like a server will like
sit you and get your order.
See you get your order, bring you your food, and then you'll never see them again, which I loved. And then you have to be like comfortable enough to be like, hi, we'll just take the check, pay, and then go. Apparently in Korea, at this restaurant, they have flight attendant buttons. I mean, I guess Red Robin has this too. On their little
touch screens.
Their little touch screens. But that's different.
Yeah.
I loved this. Mm-hmm. I love the efficiency of it. I don't love how she's abusing it.
Yeah.
He's being so respectful to her too.
But that's the thing. He's being so respectful because she is his senior in the club and also in school.
And also a customer in the restaurant.
And a customer in the restaurant. That's the thing. At work, we asked each other, like, what are your like big red flags of people like you don't want to be friends with them? Oh. My number one red flag is being mean to servers.
This is why people like to be like, you shouldn't go to a restaurant on your first date. You should 100% go to a restaurant on your first date, and you should specifically watch how they interact with the staff.
Absolutely.
And that is every flag right there. Yeah. Peep that little, if they pay, if the other person pays, walk out of the restaurant and then be like, oh, I left my phone on the table.
My clutch.
I have to run back, peep the bill, and see how much they tip.
See the tip. Because she's so aware of the power dynamic, that makes it even worse. That like she knows that he can't really do or say anything. And if he does, then it's like such a big thing, even for people that aren't involved in what the drama is.
Friends literally are like,
yeah,
I know. What is going on? Well, we didn't get like the whole. We got all of her interactions in which she was like bothering him, so we didn't get like the whole meal with her friends. Right. So I would be curious if at one point they were like, "Did he do something?" And then she just like made up a story.
She's just like,
and it's
no, like whatever.
Or that, like we don't even know. I hope as soon as they walk out of the restaurant that they're like,
girl,
what is going on?
After the blow up, I would be like, you are.
We're
out
never
of your
going
mind.
to.
I'm never going.
We're never going
to
a restaurant.
I like that samgyeopsal, girl.
Yeah,
I want to
good.
I like going there and the owner giving me free banchan. Okay,
right.
Don't ruin this for me.
Right.
Anyway, so at the end, they're finally done. She drops a glass
on purpose,
so that he cleans it up. And then she walks away. And
she drops the glass. He looks at it. She looks at it. And then turns around and walks away. And he starts cleaning it up. And it's very specifically like, she did not say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, let me help. Like, which any normal, decent person would be like, oh my, at the very least, you would be like, I'm so sorry. Even we know, the audience member knows it was on purpose. But like, you could even plausible deny it. A lot of plausible deniability on the show. You could plausibly deny that, like, oh, it was an accident, which is what she does. But you would still, even if it's an accident, you still say, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I apologize. Again, no decent person would be like, and then walk away. You're crazy. So, Miss Boss Girl.
Miss Sajangnim says,
excuse
now
me.
Hold up, sweetie, because you've got a big storm coming.
She says, Eunji, you in danger, girl.
Sajangnim literally is like, you're going to have to say sorry for that glass that you broke. You're probably going to have to pay for it too. But I'm willing to waive that because I think you should apologize to the person that needs to clean that up.
First of all, it's crazy to give this amount of anger towards someone you don't know. Yeah. You barely know. It's even crazier to then do it to the owner of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have no beef with this woman. So it's wild for her to, like, roll her eyes at her. I was like, oh. I mean, like, yes, she is, like, a full
But
monster.
This is, like, a full adult that's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with you, little girl.
This is Candy... This is
Tamisha Iman and Candy Muse. Little girl. It was fully little girl.
It was little girl.
Because she was like, don't tell me to fuck off because I will like spread it on the university or whatever that people shouldn't come here. You'll never see people come here again.
And she's like,
good. Like, okay, I don't give a fuck, girl. I sell pork belly. You really think
people are going to stop coming here?
People are going to stop coming to get pork belly?
In Korea?
In Korea? So you're telling that to the pig farmers. You're telling to the pig farmers you don't want them to eat pork anymore. Okay, girl, I see you. I love that bigger sense of your little world does not matter in like the actual world. So whatever empty threat. And here's the thing. Maybe it's like all the liquors where it's like I post a bad review and now no one will ever come and you don't have business. This woman is like none of that matters.
It is about something higher than
about something. Yes, it's
this customer service interaction.
Absolutely.
Ji-hyun comes over and is like, "It's okay. You don't. It's fine. You can just
and
go."
And that's what I feel like sets her off because she is fully like, "No, you don't have to do all of this for this little girl,
right?
Who's like being a bitch." And then fully like it has become.
They're screaming
at each other. Jian is stopping Sajangnim. The friends are stopping NG. Like, it's,
oh my god, I'd love to be in this restaurant eating.
To fully just
to be a full patron.
Or just literally, this is what happened. It's literally like, yeah, and then she was like fully. Yeah, fully. Oh, you know.
If you have a boss like this, just appreciate your time with them. Really, truly.
As people who have worked in probably one of the most customer servicey
jobs in the
world.
In the world.
It is so few and far between to have like anyone like that to actually like stand up for you and support you.
Mm-hmm. And I'll name them.
And I'll name them.
I won't name them.
Meanwhile, while this is happening,
yes, he's at the therapist.
She said, "Take me to BetterHelp, baby. ZocDoc, find me my old therapist." I'm very curious. This is the first time that in the K-dramas that we've seen where I feel like mental health and like
it's been this explicit. At least in the ones that we've seen. I'm sure there are some.
I mean, yes, that are focused on.
It's very Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It's very
yes.
But like a drama version, obviously.
Yes, because she's just like, what do you want, girl? What are you trying? You keep circling around.
The Sopranos.
It's either like I keep hearing the same things.
Something that I think for people who go to therapy, and I make jokes, but I should go to therapy. I do not currently go to therapy.
Girl, just go.
I know, but my big fear is like having to find the therapist, and then how long does that take? Like, do I have to do 3-4 sessions with someone and then realize this probably isn't great? And then I have to start like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but you never know until you do it.
My point is that I think there are some people who go to therapy and talk about all the things that are problems, but then there is like work that you actually then have to do. Once you make realizations.
Yeah.
As far as I know, then you have to do some internal work. Because again, the only thing you can fix, I shouldn't say fix, but address is your mindset and your way that you react when things happen.
Situations, yeah.
You can't change anyone else. That's like, I feel like the base understanding of like what they teach you in therapy is like, you may be mad at somebody else, but you have no control over what they do and how they interpret what you say and da-da-da-da-da. So just, I wonder if he's doing the work. It seems like point is that this therapist is like, we've had this conversation, and I appreciate that you went to the military and now you're back. But we've had this conversation, and nothing is changing.
Nothing has changed.
That is the energy I get. That's not in the text.
Yes.
That was the energy I got.
It is on the body language. She's literally like this. If your therapist is leaning her head,
I would find a new therapist.
On you, she's done with you, girl.
Right.
She's like, either you change or you find someone else. Because, I mean, I'll sit here and take these checks. Everything you need to know about Jaewon. And like, I'm sure he is someone who probably, yes, is like aspirational and sees himself doing something else, but feels too scared.
But also, it's the thing of like someone who is very much liked. Is not as willing to change what they're doing because, and I'm talking about the show, right? I'm talking about 8 Cents, the show. Yeah, and I mean the royal you, like just the general you.
Not you, but you.
But you aren't as willing to change. There's nothing wrong. His life from externally is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no problems in his life, right? There's no motivating factor for you to adjust.
Yeah.
Except that you know you're lying to yourself. And again, just the general you.
Yeah, I didn't really like the scene. I felt like the whole thing is unbelievable. You know, I just really hate when they get all introspective like this. Like, who gives a fuck about happiness and what it means to finding something to like about yourself because you spent all of your life being focused on other people liking you.
But then this scene is like mirrored where after the whole Jihyun and his Sajangnim and the blow up with Eunji, he has a scene with Sajangnim after the shift is over, and she's like, "Are you okay?" Blah blah blah. And I love the parallel of they both have like women in their lives who are kind of like helping to guide them.
Yes, he leaves work and happens upon Jaewon just walking by.
Jaewon she.
And so they were like, "Well, I was actually on my." I think he says like I was gonna see.
He says he saw him working earlier and thought that he might need to be there for him when he left work.
Yes.
And does that mean, what does that mean? We don't know.
Plausible deniability. Like, even if you hear this conversation, you're just like, oh, what a good friend. But
also, does he know that, did he see?
That I don't know. It's not clear because I feel like he would be angrier.
He seems like a character who's like, I'm going to get angry at the person who I should be angry at.
Yes.
I will say Jaewon seems like a good guy in that.
If this happened in a regular hetero K-drama,
right?
This Chaebol,
even in some BL,
this like main guy would be like just angry, and not that he's lashing out on the person that clearly was a victim to it.
But then you have the softer character like
calm him down. Exactly. And that's not a thing, at least yet. But then Jian is like, well, I did have a bad day, but seeing you now makes me feel a lot better.
Woo. Whoa. Wow. I'm delusional. Walks him home. This is where they hold hands as they walk up to the train. And it's just
again the shot of Jaewon just like smiling. There's such a mischievous playfulness about him. Like in these shots, he looks like a little kid wanting, like experiencing something new.
Yes, and it's the feeling of like every touch
second.
receptor is on like high alert.
Yeah.
Like their pinkies brush, and you know that there's like electricity shooting through it because it's like it's the most exciting thing. They've already kissed, which is crazy, but like they were drunk, so whatever. But
and then he grabs his hand.
Oh my god. Ooh.
So they get to the building, and Jian's like, well, do you want to have a beer with me? And Jaewon's like, oh, whoa.
The same joke
same
again.
Thing of like, oh, whoa. Isn't that going a little too fast? Are we going to your room? And the thing is, like, I was saying, Adam, if Jian took that as like, oh, yeah, you're probably right, I feel like Jaewon would be like, no, I'm just kidding, let's go. Mm-hmm. Or if it's the other way around.
Which is how they play it.
Where it's like,
I just went on the roof.
I don't know, there's just... He's so good at...
He's having the reactions that he's so used to having with people where he's like, oh, I'm going to do a bit because blah, blah, blah. And he's like, again, putting that mask on.
Mm-hmm.
And Ji-hyun's like,
just
I'm not part of that world.
Yeah,
like, that isn't why I like you.
Yes.
And it's so sweet. And it like breaks him down.
They go to the roof and they see is it the Namsan Tower? They're weenie.
Not weenie. They're...
That's what it's called.
No, it's not just a general term that people use in architecture. Space Tower. The one that everyone is like, I gotta go to the thing and see the view. They're Eiffel Tower.
They're Sears Willis.
They're Sears Willis. Yeah.
Jaewon is fully like, oh, that's so weird. Fully grabbing his thigh, just like, oh.
Why are you as a man putting your hands on another
just like,
man's
oh my
thigh?
God, that's so funny. You think you were thinking about doing something like that? That's crazy. Again, this is what you do at a bar. This is what happens when you're showing signs that you are into someone. It's the little steps that you make, the little inching.
Yeah.
Before you get to the real inching, you know?
That was shocking. What you just said.
Oh, what I said. I thought what Jian said.
No.
And then Jaewon, camera's real close. And they try to lean in for a kiss. And who saves the day? Junpyo goes, oh, there you guys are.
You guys drinking?
You guys drinking? Ooh, give me some of that. Drinks the beer. This is empty. And boy, like, yeah, girl, that's not yours.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. And again, Jaewon is just like, there's a genuine smile. It's like,
it's so funny to him.
It's funny, but it's so exciting because it's like,
no one is like this in Jaewon's world.
Yes.
No one is
genuine.
Right.
No one is like,
everyone is like worried about their
appearances,
how they're being perceived at all times. And while of course they are, like every human is, but
Rocky and Bullwinkle over here are just living.
The thing that attracts
life.
Jaewon to Jihyun is that Jihyun, and obviously Junpyo, but like Jihyun specifically, does not have a facade.
No.
Everything is he is just wearing his life. He's wearing his heart on his shirt.
Yeah.
Sleeve. He's wearing his heart on his shirt sleeve.
That's the end of this episode. Oh.
It's a good one.
It's so good. Peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys. It's just the steps as we get to the
rising action.
The rising action.
Yeah.
And there's some things rising for sure.